Hello, Precept students. Are you stressing about Faces of History? Don't know where to start? Are you trying to figure out how to do a fused outline with multiple sources? This is the video for you. I'm hopeful that this video will give you helpful, tangible tools to help you write your paper and to help you walk forward in confidence as you start working on Faces of History. Okay, let's do this. So for your Faces of History, we are selecting a person or an event. You could be an eyewitness at a historical event that took place in the ancient times. Anything that happened before the medieval time period, Renaissance era, okay? Think Bible times, think Egyptians, think Olympic Games and Greece and that era of time. Okay, so any Bible characters on the table. Plus, I printed a whole list of names with dates and suggestions for you that I have put in the Signal chat. So be sure to check that out. Don't overthink it also. It's okay to just pick somebody and just do it. It doesn't have to mean something. And you can always pray about it and ask the Lord to show you. God, who do you want me to study? Is there something you want to teach me and show me through this process? So select somebody, pick 3 sources. This can be 3 different books. This could be a book, the Bible, and an internet article. I would be careful with picking a movie with ancient times because unless it's a documentary, a lot of things are just going to be historical fiction thrown in there because it's like, well, we don't really know a ton about Queen Esther, and so we just made this movie about her because it's a fun story, but you can't really use that as a source for like Queen Esther ate grapes on Tuesday nights. Like, we don't know that. You just saw it from a movie and they just guessed. So be careful with your sources. That's a silly example, I know, but it just came to my mind. So be careful with picking your sources. You want to have something that's not fiction. Somebody who was like, oh, I'm really interested in the pyramids and I'm going to write a comic book about pyramids, and then you take that and use it as fact. No, you need to look for something like an encyclopedia or a biography or something like that. The library is a good place to start. I would also look at thrift books. And actually, Samuel asked our pastor for some advice for resources, and he suggested the ESV Study Bible. So if you have a study Bible, that could be a great resource for you as you're trying to figure out what to do and where to look for sources. I think this is the hardest time period between ancient, medieval, and U.S. history. So if you're having a hard time, just know that you're totally normal. It's okay. But you need to go ahead and pick somebody and go ahead and start working on this because it's going to take time. So I have picked a random person to do because I have lots of books about this person. And so this person does not fall in ancient times. So I'm not taking it away from anybody, but I just want to show you kind of how to do this. You will not be surprised who this person is, because if you know Samuel, you know that he really respects this person and really likes him. So we have lots of books at my house about Leonardo da Vinci. So let's say that we were doing medieval times and I wanted to do my Faces of History about Leonardo da Vinci. Then I would go to the library or to a bookstore or on Amazon or thrift books or whatever and pick out 3 books. And here I have 3 books. I have the Inventions of Leonardo da Vinci, I have Who Was Leonardo da Vinci, and then I have this kid's book about I Am Leonardo da Vinci. So let's say that you've picked your person, okay? I want to be such and such, or, some of you have said like, I want to be an eyewitness at Pompeii or something like that. You could pick, you could be an Egyptian slave building the pyramids, and you could write your paper about what that time period was like, what the food was like, what building pyramids was like, what being a slave was like. You could do that too. So you're going to want to write down, brainstorm some ideas about your person, this place, because this Faces of History paper, you are supposed to have 3 to 5 body paragraphs, plus an introduction and a conclusion. So I'm not asking you to tell me everything there is to know about this person or about this event, okay? I am not supposed to read these 3 books and then write a report telling you everything I read in these 3 books. Talk about overwhelming and impossible, okay? I'm not trying to write an encyclopedia about Leonardo da Vinci. I'm just trying to write a paper. So you have to narrow it down. You have to narrow down your focus and say, what do I want to talk about in regards to my person that I've chosen? In my example, I'm using Leonardo da Vinci, okay? So what do I want to tell people about Leonardo da Vinci? Now here's the thing. I already know a good bit about Leonardo da Vinci because I live with Samuel, and he tells me lots of things about Leonardo da Vinci. So I have some context for him. Last year when Nathan did Rockefeller, I didn't know very much about him, and neither did Nathan. So we didn't really know what topics we should talk about. We had some ideas like childhood, job, death, relationships, but we didn't know enough about Rockefeller to really come up with some good topics. So what we did was we had 2 books and then a documentary DVD. We watched the documentary DVD, and then after that, we talked about, okay, now that we know a little bit more about Rockefeller, what areas of his life do we want to focus on? And so we picked a couple topics, and then when we went and read those 2 books, we just looked for those things. We completely skipped chapters that were like about Rockefeller and his family, because Nathan didn't want to talk about that. He wanted to talk about Rockefeller and his money, Rockefeller and his business, Rockefeller and his relationship with Vanderbilt. That's what he wanted to talk about. And so when we read those books, we went in looking just for that, and it helped us not spend, hours upon hours upon hours reading lots and lots. We were able to just focus. Now, we were so interested about Rockefeller that we were able to go back and read just for fun. But for the sake of the report, just focus on what you're going to be writing about, okay? So I hope all of that makes sense. Let me show you how we did this practically. Okay, so here I have my 3 source books, and then I have a spiral bound notebook. This helped us so much. I would highly recommend just getting one of these, cheapo 88-cent spiral bound notebooks. Okay, so my subject, who I've chosen, is Leonardo da Vinci. Okay, what are some possible topic ideas? Well, I could talk about his childhood. I could talk about his relationships. Like, did he get married? Oh dear, my pen. Did he get married? Did he have friends? What was his life like with business workers and things like that? I could just talk about any number of relationship type things. Let's see if this pen will work for me. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. Good pens are hard to find these days, I could talk about his inventions. I could talk about his art. I could talk about his legacy. What of him do we still have today? Legacy / influence. I could talk about if he was rich, money. Yeah, so here's some great ideas. Just basic, bare bones, different areas of his life that I could focus on. I could talk about his health. different jobs that he had over the course of his life. I mean, this is me just, my brain just thinking through, okay, what are some different things I know about Leonardo da Vinci, and different things I could focus on. I don't need to do all of these. This is too much. Let's pick 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8 different topics, too much. I think I'm going to talk about his inventions, his art, and then maybe his legacy and his influence. Okay? So now what do I do? Well, I have these 3 books. I've narrowed down. I'm going to research these 3. Okay? Let's just start with who was Leonardo da Vinci. So I'm going to write at the top of at a fresh page, my source. Who was Leo da Vinci? By Roberta Edwards. Okay? Then any notes I take from this book, I'm going to be putting on this page. Now, I'm writing a keyword outline. So I want to do inventions, art, and legacy. So let's do the top of this page. Topic A. Inventions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe I'll get 7 whole sentences all about his inventions from this book. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But I'm ready. Okay. Topic B. Art. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then next, topic C, legacy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and okay, so now when I read this book, I'm ready for information. Give it to me. I'm ready to go. You will do a page for each one of your sources, okay? So this was Leonardo da Vinci by Roberta, what's her name? Edwards. So when I'm done with this book, and I move on to this one, Leonardo da Vinci's Life of Inventions by Jake Williams. I'm going to do the same thing over here. LDV Life of Inventions by Jake Williams. Same thing over here that I did right here with this topic A, topic B, topic C. I'm going to put it just like that in here, okay? I won't do it right now just to save you guys time, but that's what it'll look like. And then with my 3rd book, I'll do the same thing. I Am Leonardo da Vinci by Brad Meltzner. I'll put that up at the top. Topic A, topic B, topic C. Okay, does that make sense? I hope that's pretty clear. Okay, so let's get studying. Okay, so upon looking through my sources, I've decided to simplify from art to... Okay, so I've looked through all 3 of my sources, and they all have a lot to say about Mona Lisa, Leonardo da Vinci's famous painting. So I'm actually going to change art to Mona Lisa to narrow it down even further. Okay, so let's start with and who was, which is what I've got here at the top. Who was LDV? I can read through some of these things and pick out what I want to include. Let's see. In the portrait, only the top half of Mona Lisa's body is shown. So I can say, up at the top, sorry, I'm not very good with this. Okay. Top half shown landscape. Okay. Now only 3 words, so maybe I'll just draw a symbol of a woman. Okay, so woman, top half shown with landscape. Okay, then I can go and get more information. And as I read, so let's see. Her lips are pressed together in a calm half smile. She looks as if she's keeping a secret. Her eyes are full of mystery too. She's at probably the most famous painting in the world. So that's a lot of information. I'm just going to do most famous painting. Just draw a little box there in the world. All right, now do you think that this book and this book and this book are all going to say that the Mona Lisa is the most famous painting in the world? Yes, probably so. But we're still going to write it. We're still going to take notes, okay? So you can, for the sake of time, I'm not going to finish filling this out, but hopefully you can see as you read through this information, you make a keyword outline. You could do black dress, no jewelry, long curling hair. Long curly hair. Okay? Okay, so as I move on to my next book, Leonardo da Vinci, Life of Inventions, we're still thinking about Mona Lisa right now. That's what page I'm on. I can read all about this and then do my keyword outline. The Mona Lisa is probably the most famous painting in the world today. So I would say most, I think that's interesting and important. Most famous painting world. Not word, world today. Okay, remember 3 words, you can use symbols. So Mona Lisa, most famous painting in the world today. The iconic painting has a long and fascinating history full of love, theft, and mystery. We don't know the exact date he started painting it, but it was likely around 1503 when he lived in Florence. He spent long years toiling away with oil paints. So many years, in fact, that the painting remained in his workshop until his death in 1519. So he started working on it from 1503 to 1519. Oil paints. He wanted to get it perfect. Okay. Looking at the Mona Lisa, you may think it is painted on canvas. However, it is actually painted on a sheet of wood. Interesting. I don't feel like writing that down, but that's kind of interesting. So who is this Mona Lisa? She might be a lady named Lisa Gherardini. Unlike many of the paintings at the time, the landscape in the background is not based on a real location. It's completely made up. Okay. Although it may not be very obvious, she is smiling. Most paintings at this time wouldn't have featured their model smiling, but Da Vinci intentionally gave the Mona Lisa a slight smile as a way to make her seem merry and lively. Smile. Not normal for that time period. I'm going to do a clock. Okay. And it hangs heavily guarded at the Louvre. Hangs Louvre in France. Okay. So then I could go through this book and see what they say about the Mona Lisa. He worked on it for 16 years, carrying it with him till the day he died. People wonder who she was. She was ordinary and amazing, full of mystery. So I'm going to make a little keyword outline based on this information. And then here I went ahead and filled out Mona Lisa. Some of the information I got from this book. I am Leonardo da Vinci. Now, not surprisingly, I didn't get a ton of details from this book because it's definitely written for younger kids. But hopefully you get the idea. I got information from this book and information from this one and information from my other one. So now what do I do? Now we are going to do something called a fused outline, okay? Where we take the information from our three sources and we put them together, okay? So here's how I did this. This is how I would do this. Who was Leonardo da Vinci, okay? That book that we started with. The top half of her was shown with landscape in the background, most famous painting in the world, black dress with jewelry, long curly hair. Okay, I'm going to pick most famous painting in the world. I'm going to do that first. So I'll cross that out. Does this one have most famous painting in the world too? Yes, it has most famous painting in the world today. So I've used that one. I'm going to cross it out. This one didn't say anything about that, but that's okay. That's why we do multiple sources. So I'm going to write most famous painting world today. Okay, so then let's go back and see. She has the top half shown, landscape in the background, black dress, jewelry, and long curly hair. Do I have that information on this? No. I mean, she has a smile because I'm talking about what it looks like. So maybe I can kind of combine those. She's smiling, which is not normal at the time, and it kind of needs its own line. This one didn't say that at all. So, but you know what all three of them did say? This one I didn't write down, but hangs in the Louvre at France. Hangs in the Louvre at France. Hanging in the Louvre at France. I'm going to write that down. Hanging Louvre, France. So then, after you've done that for every topic, you've fused over all your favorite facts, you've combined facts, everything. This is what you will use to as your keyword outline to either give your presentation for Faces of History or write your paper. I hope that was helpful. I hope that makes sense. I know that you didn't really ask to learn about Leonardo da Vinci today, and I hope that you understand why I chose that as a way to show you how to take information from multiple sources and condense it down. And using this notebook is really helpful because when you do your studying, you just can go grab it and you know where it is and it's all in one spot. And then when you're done, you can tear out those research papers and move on with your life and just work from your fused outline. Now, when you give your Faces of History oral report, you can dress up if you want to. You don't have to, but you can dress up and it is encouraged. Really get into it and give it your best. But if you don't feel comfortable or don't want to, that is okay. You do need to write your paper. Okay, that is not optional. From your fused outline, from those three books that your three sources, you've fused them all together into one clear piece of information. This is all your data that you gathered, compiled into one place. Use this to write your essay. You're going to have your body paragraphs, depending on how many topics you have, 3 topics, 4 topics, 5 topics. And then you write your conclusion and do your introduction. Okay? Now, if you want to, instead of reading your paper, You could go off your keyword outline. I mean, I've only done the Mona Lisa part right here, but using my keyword outline, I could say, the Mona Lisa is the most famous painting in the world. It is currently hanging in the Louvre in France, because I have all that information right there. So if you are more comfortable presenting with just keywords instead of just reading your paper, that's fine too. And you might want to practice that and just learn that as a skill. But you do need to write your paper either way. Use your dress ups and make sure that you can throw in some of your vocabulary words if need be. But that's why it's really important to pick good sources and kind of, I would suggest looking through your sources, even just through the chapter titles, and see like, okay, what am I working with here? It would be really hard to make a keyword outline about something and you have no information about it. Like, you can't just make up stuff about this person's life. This person really lived. You don't want to give false information. So choose your person or your subject or your date in history or whatever. Get your sources, make an outline for each topic, fuse your outline, write your paper. It's a lot of work, so get going. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm here for you every step along the way, and I look forward to seeing what you do. You guys got this. You can do it.